everyone, welcome to another Paint With Me video. Today I am going to do a couple of pretty fall pumpkins. Since it just turned fall and it's my favorite time of the year, I love the way pumpkins, just like leaves, whenever they change colors, the pumpkins kind of look like watercolor was splashed right on them. And so what a fun thing to try to replicate, you know? This time, actually, I'm using Strathmore watercolor paper that I had in a pad of paper, so I just tore one of those off, and I am sketching the photo out real quick onto the paper with my brown col-erase pencil. As always, I have a photo for reference, and you know, it's going to end up looking pretty close to it, but I'm really not trying to replicate it exactly. It's basically just to get the shapes and the colors. And you know, you can vary it as much as you want. It's your world, as Bob Ross would say. It's your painting. Okay, so I have that sketched out. Just mixing a little blue. I'm going to do the sky first. Since it's just a real light blue, I just wanted to get that out of the way first so I didn't have to worry about it. Just doing a quick light wash behind the pumpkins, but being careful not to go inside the lines of the pumpkins. And as you can see, I don't try hard to make it even looking. I like it to look like watercolor splotches. So I do a little bit of dabbing to make, you know, it darker here and there. So before going on to the next color, I let that dry because I don't want any of the colors running together. So I'm doing a quick wash of light brown under, and I did want these to run together a little bit to give it a little fuzzy look. So I let that be wet, and then I'm adding some more variations of browns. And while I have the brown and the light brown out, I am going to work with the stems of the pumpkins. The base color of them is a little bit like a light brown, and the other one has a little bit of green in it. So I'm just kind of adding little swirls like I see in the picture. And I wanted it to be a little fuzzy at this point, so I didn't dry in between layers. And I'm adding some shadowing under the pumpkins, just a little bit more. So the pumpkin on the left is kind of a weird off-white yellowish type. It must be a gourd or something. So anyway, I mixed a kind of a creamy yellow color as the base. Just going to put that over the background, and I'm leaving some lighter spots where the highlights are. While it's still wet, I am going in with some orange and letting that kind of spread around on its own, because that's the way the pumpkin actually looks. It looks like there's watercolor on there. So I'm just dabbing it on there, letting it do its thing. Put a little too much there, so I'm just kind of mopping it up, I guess, with the paintbrush. Now I'm going into the orange pumpkin, and I like to wet it down a little bit first so I could get the wash right. I wasn't happy with the the vibrancy of the orange, so I had to get a different one out. But yeah, I'm going around with the wash of the orange, and once again, I'm gonna leave some lighter areas, even some white showing through where the highlights are. So now that the left pumpkin is a little bit more dry, I am going in with some of the greens. Just dabbing some of the green on. It is still a little bit wet, as you can see. It's spreading on its own a little bit, and I wanted it to spread, so I'm adding a little bit of water. So now that the orange pumpkin is done, I'm going to go in with a wash of green over the left side. Now you got to be careful not to work with it too much because you don't want the orange to lift up underneath. So this is just a quick wash of layer over it, and I'm going in with a flat brush and adding some of the definition to the like ribs. I don't know what that's called. You know, the pumpkin has the little indents. And it had some darker green in there and a little bit of speckling too. So I'm just slightly going in with some speckles of darker green. Now on the other pumpkin, now that it's dry, I am going in with some shading, which I'm using a little bit of gray and green, just some colors that I've already used mixed together, and I'm going in anywhere I see shading in between the bumps and underneath the bumps underneath the actual pumpkin itself. And I'm adding even more underneath because it's very dark shadow under there. Adding some more definition around the edge, a little bit more shadowing. Some more shadowing around the ribbed part, the bumps of the pumpkin. Just layering some more shadows. If you ever think your painting looks a little bland, just try going in with some more shadows and contrast. Just keep pushing yourself. Because half the time whenever I see paintings that don't seem right or not unfinished, it's because they need more contrast. Adding some more definition around the edges, more shadows. I like to add a very, very thin line around the edge of the pumpkins. That's about it. I always go in with some micron pen and just add a little bit of an outline. I mean, that's not the way all watercolor artists do it, by all means. This is just something that I like to do, so that's totally up to you. I decided that it needed some more shadowing, another layer, so I'm going ahead and doing that. And I'm adding some more details to the stems of the pumpkins. and signature. Please, once again, let me know if you enjoyed this and painted along. I'd love to see what you came up with. Don't forget to join me on all my other social medias, Instagram, Facebook. I hope everyone has a great October. Talk to you soon. Bye.